It seems like once again a small portion of the RWBY community, but a very loud and vocal portion of the RWBY community has been set off. And what is setting them off this time? A very cute little video made by a YouTube channel with 1.5 million subscribers, a video that has now, as of making this video, 791,744 views, pushing up towards 1 million views, released on June 7th. So what is so awful about this little video that has got the vocal portion of the fandom in so much of a little hissy fit? The fact that the video pokes fun at the show. It's a very cute little video with cute animation and good voice dubbing work. Makes some good points in a comedic fashion. It's totally just a cute and funny video. And some people are labeling it a hate video, literally a hate video, and they won't even watch it, but they will be very quick to judge it. That's right, people will judge something while not having actually seen it at all. They will be so quick to let it upset them. These people are getting emotionally upset over something that they haven't even watched. Imagine that. Haven't even seen the video, judging it, getting upset because of it. It's a horrible and very, very toxic mindset to be in. Let's take a look at one example briefly before we get into the meat of the video itself. Oh yeah, so here's one dude's little rant about this. So apparently he actually did watch the video though, so good on him for at least watching it. Although I have a feeling he probably didn't make it through the whole thing, but who knows. Anyways, says, pretty mediocre video, a lot of the same generic and poorly thought out criticisms that were used too from bad RWBY tubers, delivered in a goofy voice as if that automatically makes it funny. Now, why I doubt if this person actually watched the full video is because there wasn't one voice used in that video. There were multiple voices, and they were actually pretty accurate at replicating the characters of the show. For example, the dude that dubbed the video actually made a pretty good Ruby Rose impression, surprisingly. Also made a pretty good Crow impression. And they weren't necessarily goofy. They were actually pretty dang accurate. So it's a weird take, my dude. Weird take indeed. Like, get over it. It's funny. Just have a laugh instead of a tear. I was going to originally just go into a bunch more examples right now, but I feel like ranting for a second. What the heck, man? I've said this before, but what happened to the RWBY community? I used to be one of the dudes who would protect the show from the criticism, because at one point the criticism just felt like pure hate and trolling thrown at the creators. Nowadays, a lot of the honest, genuine criticism, which we didn't even have before, it was just pure hate. Now we actually have fair criticism being offered up on the table to improve the show, and somehow a portion of the fandom has become so overly sensitive that they will deny the criticism and the merit that it has simply to cry about it on social media and then retweet it or whatever and circle jerk each other in some weird little group where they all cry together and then upvote it. That's what they live for, man. They wake up, they go on social media, they think of something to cry about, complain about, so that they can get their little upvotes and get their retweets and, you know, get some more credibility in their community. But soon enough, those people will graduate school or whatever, get jobs, move on to things, and not even talk to those people anymore, and all their little points that they won will get obsolete, depleted into absolutely nothingness, because that's what they are. Those points are absolutely worth nothing. In response to Mob promoting the video on his Twitter page, and as a disclaimer, I also promoted the video on my Twitter page, gave it a retweet, said it was funny. Mob did the same thing, and this was one of the comments he got. Says, "I'd very much rather not, thanks. Promoting stuff from people who hate the show and its creators is not one of the things I plan to do when I wake up every day." Yeah, we know. Like we already discussed in this video, when you wake up, first thing you gotta do is go on Tumblr or Twitter and find something to complain about. In this case, you decide to complain about this. Now, while you aren't going to promote it, you certainly will cry about it. That's quite evident. Response to that, Reasonable Person says, he literally ends the video by promoting Rooster Teeth. Clearly, he doesn't hate RWBY or them. The video is meant for comedy. So again, yeah, not only does the dude have seemingly have a sponsorship with VRV, I don't know if that's confirmed or not. Generally, when you have a sponsorship with a company, they like you to do the promo at the beginning of the video within the first 60 to 120 seconds. He had the promo at the very end of the video, which was interesting, but maybe that was part of their agreement that they don't really care when he promotes it. So, seems like he has a partnership with VRV, also promoted Rooster Teeth. Pretty dang clear that the dude supports the show, the series, much more than the guy who over here complained about it and said, I'd very much rather not. Thanks. Promoting stuff from people who hate the show and its creators is not one of the things I plan to do when I wake up every day. Doubt this person has done anything that really benefits the show in any sort of way. Meanwhile, he'll complain about the people that actually do things to benefit the show, even if it's just a little harmless joke that upsets them, you know? So the response, I don't care. I've seen enough of him here to not care. Don't even know what that's about. And it's actually easier to make comedy about something when you hate it. Flood did some decent Flood. I think he's meaning floof. I don't know, man. These people are weird. And that's actually a RWBY quote. I mean, kind of. It's whenever I put it that way, I don't know if you guys catch it, but I'm referencing RWBY in Volume 4. When Crow looks at RWBY and Tyrion's there, and Crow's like, I don't know, this guy's weird. I kind of like to reference that every now and then in that manner. Very light reference, right? But anyways, so Floof did some decent comical videos about RWBY 2. Promoting them just helps his channel and himself. It's hypocritical and cynical. I don't even know the logic in this one. I don't even know how to comment on this because it doesn't make sense to me. Let's see what the response was. This is where it's a good thing that you can separate the art from the artist. The video is funny and will make you laugh. I've watched videos from creators whose other work I don't like. Plus, I don't think he'd waste time animating and voicing something he doesn't like. And the response from the crier says, it's funny because I just had a conversation with someone else where we agreed that we can't separate the creation from the creator. I guess we'll just have to agree to disagree in this case. Wow. And then another person chimed in. This is a third party now. Says, do you have a sense of humor? And the dude who was crying about everything never responded to that one. Otherwise, I would have included the screenshot. But there was no response there. I guess you could say that they finally didn't care. Why would you promote this? I get it's RWBY content for the hiatus, but this is essentially a hate piece for the show and those who worked on it. I'm really confused why all of the RWBY tubers aren't noticing how much he's belittling the show. Response? You can love something and still criticize it. Hell, Murder of Birds absolutely loves this show, yet he talks about its flaws all the time and hopes it does better. Also, this wasn't a hate piece towards the creators. What the heck? Yeah, reasonable person right here. It definitely wasn't a hate piece. I mean, that's an opinion, but it seems like the majority opinion because most people, by all means, love that video. I mean, look at the ratio of upvotes to downvotes on that video and you'll see what I'm talking about. Most people loved it. It's only the vocal minority that gets very loud and angry that starts calling it a hate piece and smearing it and all that stuff. Next comment. I also hope the show does better within the future. I never said you could critique something. Yeah, exactly. You never said you could critique. I'm sorry, dude. He just proved our point. You never said you could critique something. Yeah, you don't want anything critiqued, dude. If you like, I mean, except something that you don't like, of course. If you don't like it, by all means, critique it. But if it's something you personally like, you don't want anyone to critique it because, oh my goodness, if it damages your fragile being, that something pokes a little bit of fun at something, then you have to suddenly try to get it off the face of the world, of course. Says, I do the same with RWBY, even though I love the show. The comments about Monty made me feel extremely uneasy due to speaking on a dead man's work. I don't personally remember any comment about Monty in that video, so I have no comment on that. But the response to that, it's not like Jello said anything disrespectful about Monty. Jello just said that he didn't approve of a certain writing choice due to how spontaneous it was. You can disagree with the criticism as I do, but it's certainly not as if he's saying Monty would have hated the writers. Response to that? By the way, I've rewatched that video twice and I've seen it once, and I really don't remember any part about Monty being in that video. The other dude says, and I get that, but like I said, I just felt uneasy about people talking about a person who couldn't talk for themselves anymore. I just rewatched the entire video again, and the dude never mentions Monty once. All he does is post this Wikipedia segment that reads, according to Jeff Williams, Summer's gravestone in the red trailer originally had no story significance, as when he questioned Monty about who was in the grave, Monty replied, I don't know, we just thought it would be cool if she visited a grave. Jeff went on to ask, what if it's her mom, to which Monty answered, that's cool. So the dude never really brought up Monty, and he only included this segment because he was poking a little fun at how Summer originally, that plot point wasn't there, and it was kind of shoveled in, so to speak. That's all he said, never even mentioned Monty, and then you have that dude crying over it. Listen here, buddy, the worst thing you can do is to not talk about somebody anymore just because they are deceased. Like, way to go, basically erasing their existence from the universe. When someone moves on from this life, all you have left really are the memories and what they kind of gave to you while they were still here. And hopefully you can pass on the good that they gave to you to other people, and you can then, in a way, get them to live on through paying it forward, so to speak. And I speak as someone who has lost people that are very close to me. The only thing that keeps solace in my mind is knowing that that person gave me a lot of value in my life, and hopefully I can pass those lessons on to my kids or whatever. You get the idea. This guy's take is because Monty's gone, nobody should talk about him. No, that's horrible. Just because Monty's gone doesn't mean we can't talk about him. The dude was highly talented, one of the hardest workers I have ever seen in my entire life. He was very beneficial and just a good dude from what I've seen. And I think he provided value to the world, and it's a shame that he's gone. And by all means, I will talk about that whenever I feel like it. I'm not gonna just pretend like he never existed. The other guy's response is kind of on the same train that I'm on. He says, it should be fine as long as we only speak on his actions while he was alive and not guess what he would have done had he lived. Stating Monty would have done X or Monty wouldn't have allowed Y would be much more disrespectful to his memory, and to that I do agree. Like, you can't assume what he would do or not do. That is kind of putting words and actions in the mouth of somebody who can't actually, confirm or defend themselves. If they wouldn't do that, they can't defend themselves against it, and if they would do it, they can't confirm it. Not gonna watch it. I've heard enough from other people. It's just more of the same, hating senselessly and saying the same shit people have said thousands of times before. I'm so sick of it. Not gonna watch it. I've heard enough from other people. It's just more of people hating senselessly and saying the same shit people have said thousands of times before. I'm so sick of it. So this person hasn't even watched it, says that they're not going to watch it, but then goes on to claim that the whole video is just saying the same shit that people have said thousands of times before. So this person is judging it and, claiming that the video is just doing the same stuff other people have done, but they haven't even watched the video. Absolutely ridiculous. The comment to that is a shame. It's actually pretty good if you can tolerate people not liking your interest. He doesn't even say anything that disrespectful, at least not compared to RWBY critics in quotations. And I believe that's, again, referring to about 2 years ago almost, when a lot of the criticism against RWBY was mostly just hating it for garnishing views, to be quite honest. It was very poor criticism. But as I already said, the criticism nowadays is actually, like, there's some very legit criticism of the show going on the last number of months. I would even say upwards towards 6 months or so. There's been very legitimate criticisms, kind of ever since Volume 5 ended, actually. We could probably stretch that back even further, but I digress. The response to that, and by the way, there was plenty of stuff I didn't agree with in the video. I still thought it was funny, though. I agreed with some of it. I disagreed with some of it. For example, the dude said that, like, Blake was a boring character, and I think Blake is awesome. I think for a girl her age, especially compared to other characters in the show, Blake is, like, one of the most impressive characters in the show. What other character that age has led an army, been a part of a revolution, abandoned their parents just because they thought they were doing the right thing when they lived in, like, a mansion and had, like, everything in the world, and they still left them, became a huntress to get stronger, even left her, arguable boyfriend or whatever you think that relationship was to do the right thing. Like, Blake has done so much impressive shit, especially compared to, like, Yang, who's absolutely useless. I'm kidding slightly about the Yang thing. You guys know I used to like Yang. I don't really like her anymore. Volume 5 and Volume 6 kind of ruined Yang for me, but I give her a bit more of a hard time than I should sometimes, to be fair. I'll admit that. Then the crying person said, your tolerance for that kind of stuff goes down. Every time you mention your interests, you're flooded with dozens of people telling you that you have shit tastes. I mean, maybe they're exaggerating, maybe not. Maybe their interests really are bad, maybe not. I don't know, but I do know this person probably should take a break from social media. It seems like that would be quite beneficial to them. A few more ridiculous comments of people crying that we're going to take a look at, but we're going to blaze through it because this stuff is hot garbage. This crying person says, dude, bros, at any B content. Ew, no, stop posting about this. This ship is terrible. Have I mentioned that I hate Bumblebee? I hate it. Stop posting about it. Also, dude, bros, dang, the RWBY fandom is so toxic. If you have one different opinion, people will come at you. Yeah, you using the word dude, bros like that, just, I don't even know what to say. Yeah, you guys make your own opinion on that one. That so is basically RWBY video. What? This is, what? Oh my god. This is basically RWBY video. Kind of annoys me hardcore, not gonna lie. It's all in good fun, but RWBY hate just kind of annoys me, especially on this level. Is it all in good fun or is it hate? Which one is it, dude? Get your story straight. You can't even get your typing straight, though, so I mean, you know what? I could make a really good bad joke on that one, but I'm not gonna do it. Maybe you guys can figure out what I was gonna say. No, it's not. It's pandering to the RWBY hate train while under the guise of Schrodinger's douchebag. This seems way critical to be just a joke. Maybe you're just overly sensitive if you think it's, like, way too critical. Like, it's obviously a joke, dude. It has, in less than 2 days, almost 1 million views. People are enjoying it, finding it funny, watching the whole thing. And you're sitting here complaining about it. And I think you're the last person that we're going to see. Oh, no, there's one more. Not to stir on the whole, so this is basically RWBY discourse, since I don't love nor hate the video, but Yang and Blake literally never talk to each other is such a weird take. Like, did you miss all previous 5 volumes and all the times they talked in Volume 6 alone? I mean, you're talking about, listen, talking, that's not a like, what, dude? There's a lot more to entering a relationship than just talking a lot. Like, dude, I talk to my close friends a lot. It doesn't mean I'm gonna date them all. Like, what? That's a weird take. Were you kidding me, dude? Now, if you haven't seen that video, I have some highlights of the points that person was making. This is paraphrased. I don't want to misrepresent the video. This is my take on some of the points that he was making. Basically, says that RWBY got popular even though the animation is bad. Fair enough. Says that in terms of Team RWBY, he went through the RWBY girls, said that Ruby Rose's name is confusing because it sounds like RWBY the team. That's fair, but I'm not going to hold it against the show. That's kind of the point. Says that Weiss is a standard snobby rich girl. That's pretty fair. I mean, I kind of like Weiss. I used to like her a lot more. She starts to bug me a little bit as of Volume 6. But yeah, Weiss is pretty generic, I admit. Pretty generic snobby rich girl. Says that Weiss loses every fight. That's actually pretty funny. I think Weiss actually has lost like every 1v1. And her fight against Vernal was just downright embarrassing. She literally jumped backwards into a pillar as if her, situational awareness was non-existent. Says that Blake is bland and trash. Obviously, I disagree with that one, as I already said. And then what was funny is he didn't even mention Yang. Didn't even mention Yang, dude. Just made a joke about her arm and moved on. So that's pretty funny. I'm always down to throw some shade at Yang because she used to be cool and now she's just an angsty weirdo, in my opinion. Says that there's too many side characters, none of them are explored. It's a pretty fair point. Says that the show isn't about the characters, it's about the fights. Says that the OST is bad. I don't think the OST is bad. Says that the animation is clippy and terrible outside of the fights and the mocap is bad. I don't know enough about mocap to comment on that. But yeah, the animation is rather clippy and is not great outside the fights. I mean, even in Volume 6, there was instances of the animation clipping, especially in Argus. Says that the magic and the dust/semblance mechanics are very convoluted because it's like magic but not, which is a fair point, to be fair. It is a bit weird, but it is what it is. I mean, there's so many shows that have like weird magic systems that aren't magic. I'm not going to hold that one against RWBY, to be honest. Says that World of Remnant is made because the show ignores world building itself. It's a pretty fair point. Says that RWBY Chibi is better at showing the characters or like getting into the characters than the actual show is, which is kind of funny. I don't know if I agree with that. I might. I'd have to go rewatch Chibi though, and I haven't even finished Chibi Season 3. Says that Volumes 1, 2, 3 are one long season and then basically in terms of someone getting into RWBY, says watch Volume 1, 2, and 3 as one long season and then have someone summarize Volume 4 and 5 for you so you can skip them because they're garbage. Now, I did say I liked Volume 4, so I disagree with that, but Volume 5 was pretty dang bad, so it's a funny point in my opinion. Says that the writers want Ozpin to be morally gray, but he hasn't done anything bad. I absolutely agree with that take. I've been defending Ozpin for so long, and it's really ironic because his voice actor now blocks me because of my stance with Vic Mignogna. Isn't that funny? I defend Ozpin, even still, I will still, defend Ozpin. I don't even care, but the VA blocks me, dude. Like, what a joke, man. It's freaking whatever. Says that the Crow and Raven Bird thing is not bad because the characters cry about it too much, and it's really not, like, anything bad. As a matter of fact, it benefits them because they can turn to birds whenever they want, and that's kind of useful. Doesn't seem like a bad thing, and I agree. Like, Yang was making a big deal out of that for no reason. Like, okay. Raven was making a big deal about it, too, kind of for no reason, but it was also Yang, like, crying about it. Says that Kirby throws in a bunch of cool ideas, but never follows through with any of them. Says that his favorite character is Neo, but he thinks they will ruin her. I agree with the take that Neo is the best girl, and that's a great favorite character to have. But I don't know if they'll ruin her, but I highly am worried about that. Like, honestly, I kind of wish they never put Neo back in the show, because the way the show's been going, it has been getting worse in quality, and that is something that honestly worries me right now, dude. Like, now that Neo's back in the show, she's finally back in the show, which I'm happy about, but the show's going down a bad route, so it's like, no, I would kind of rather her just not be in the show anymore. Like, I don't want to see her get ruined, dude, so that is definitely a big concern of mine. So I agree with him on that take. Says Bumblebee is only pandering to the demands of a part of the fandom. Kind of does feel that way, to be honest. Now, I am a Bumblebee shipper. I've been shipping it since around Volume 4, and there's videos that you can look up on YouTube of me shipping it back then as proof. And I even agree with that in a way. Like, Bumblebee does feel rushed. It does. Blake and Yang had a few close scenes, more than most characters in the show, but you're comparing that to, like, something that's non-existent. Like, most characters in the show haven't had a romantic scene together. Blake and Yang arguably have had, like, 1 or 2. That still ain't a lot by any sense of the means. And finally, says that Rooster Teeth advertises its other shows too much during RWBY. And I absolutely agree with that. I mean, especially Volume 6. It was so annoying to see all those Genlock ads, man. And he poked some fun by saying, like, it's interesting how Rooster Teeth promotes all these other shows, but doesn't want you to watch RWBY. It wants you to watch all these other shows that aren't RWBY. And that's like a summarization of his take. Again, I don't want to misrepresent him, so this is my take on his video. of the points that he was making, or some of the highlight points that he was making. As you can see, some of them I agree with, some of them I disagree with. What I'm not doing is sitting here crying about it, but I will absolutely make a funny, entertaining video about the people that will do that, because, well, why the heck not? Ultimately, I think RWBY is a show with so much potential. Really, it was rather unique when it first came out. I mean, a Western studio making an anime-esque show that even eventually people in Japan fall in love with. It gets a manga and even gets a Japanese dub. That's crazy, man. That's like very, very unique. Rooster Teeth had something very special here. This is not the first time we've seen a company have great IP and absolutely fail to actually use it in a good manner. For example, look at Marvel and the X-Men franchise. That's been a hot topic recently. That's why I'm referencing that. So it shouldn't be too surprising, I guess, that a company could butcher something even when sitting on IP that is literal gold. Like, they had all the makings for a great show from the get-go. But then the choices, as the volumes have progressed, just don't seem like the best for the show. But that's an opinion. Statistics would actually back this up, and what we do know, RWBY isn't on YouTube anymore. They want you to go to the Rooster Teeth site. RT has spent a lot of money on Genlock, we can assume. We got a new president for RT. There's a number of things you can look at to speculate on if RT is doing financially well or not, but I'll leave that up for you to decide and look into. The closing point on that segment really is this little joke video that we've been discussing this whole video that's got some people all mad and everything. That video's made almost 1 million views in only 2 days. So people are still definitely interested in RWBY, but why are they more interested in hearing criticism or jokes poked at RWBY than praise or positive things about RWBY? That is the real question. What happened to the RWBY IP that made the fandom or the people that are interested in the show, because maybe they're not even in the fandom anymore, go down that avenue instead of wanting to see like good positive videos about the show? What happened? Because that wasn't always the case. Back in the day, Volume 1, Volume 2, Volume 3, the really early days, the videos with the most views on RWBY were theory videos, top 5s, top 10s. And some people's reaction videos would get a lot of views as well. But really, that was it. Like reactions, theories, top 5s, top 10s, and criticism videos weren't really a thing. Those other videos were doing really well. Now you make a video like that, it doesn't get very many views. You make a criticism video of RWBY, it'll pull the views. So it's evident RT should be looking at that and wondering what's up. Are they doing that? I don't know. Does it seem like they are? Let me know in the comments below. I hope you enjoyed this video, however, and if you did, be sure you give it a thumbs up. Comment down below. As I said, let me know your thoughts on this and everything we talked about. And by all means, subscribe if you're not. And if you are subscribed, hit that notification bell so your subscription can actually work. Consider joining our Discord server. We have channels for RWBY, anime, pretty much anything that's pretty freaking awesome. Awesome stuff there. Join it. Link below for all that stuff. And I have some shout outs for the wonderful people who helped promote my last video over on Twitter. That video being KickVic finally has evidence. New pictures surfaced and evidence in quotes for a good reason. So, shouts out to X Gamer, Travis Daniel Snipes, Matt Bennett, Brandon Mayo, Victoria Galloway, Mr. Anime 343, Omni the Astral King, Tono Ryu, Uchiha Ankh, Random Fandom, Lacus12 367 547. I think I got 2 7s there, my bad. Richard Eagle, Sunpan, the Dark Lord of Sith, the Dark Lord of the Sith, and Paragon Langston of Amtgard. Thank you very much, my friends. I will see you next time.